I'm the Tolkien curmudgeon. I'm back to talk about the Rings of Power one more time, and especially about Corrigan Wholesome, the Tolkien professional, and his show Rings and Reels, um, and also his show. What's it called? Other Minds and Hanses? I don't know. Anyway, he said something that I'm really happy about. Oh, yay! A small victory. He said that his initial reaction many times to certain things in the show might be to roll his eyes and cringe. Yay! So some things might be cringeworthy in his view. He's human. Yeah, I'm so happy. Anyway, but then he goes on to then sort of justify, well, but they could be doing this and that and the other thing. And so I don't really get it. But anyway, I remember that when he started this season, he did say something about how back in the days when the Hobbit movies were coming out, he refrained from heavy criticism or evaluation of it as an adaptation until it was all done, and then he said that it was a really bad adaptation. And he said that he didn't really care that much if the Rings of Power were a good or bad adaptation. But either way, he can analyze it. So maybe when he says all these positive things he's analyzing, it doesn't really mean that he likes it. He's looking for the patterns, and maybe he's trying to influence the showrunners in a way. He does have some kind of relationship with them. Is it like access journalism where you don't want to offend the person too much because then they won't invite you back anymore? I don't know. But also it could be like this. I've tried to teach painting to beginning students, and sometimes they have a very fragile ego, and so you don't really want to criticize very much what they're doing, but you want to praise the good things and even point out the patterns of things that they're doing accidentally. Maybe they don't even intend to do it, but because they're beginners, they do things accidentally that might be good, and then you just ignore the bad, and you hope to cultivate a better and better realization of their work. So maybe that's what he's doing. But I was worried that he's misleading his students of his own university. What's it called? The Divine Sign University, or the Sign from God University, or some. It's a Latin word. I don't speak Latin, so I felt, how is it misleading? Because like this. So when I remember getting instruction in painting from my teachers back in the day, we would look at artworks by famous people, go to art shows, go to the museum, look in art books, look at slides, and talk about work. And just because they were a great and famous artist didn't mean everything they did was great. So they would criticize sometimes their artwork, and they would say all these things that were good, but then sometimes they said what was not good about it. Now, he does sometimes say, oh, I question this, I'm not sure about that, but that's such weak tea criticism. But now he said, rolling his eyes and cringing. Well, at least he said that's his initial reaction. Well, I have to say that this is watching television. It's not reading a novel where you can stop and analyze. TV has to make it right away. It has to be initially understandable, enjoyable, and then maybe you can rewatch, and the second time you'll get more. But it should be immediately likable. It shouldn't be something like you think, oh, this is horrible. But I want to find something good, so I watch it again, and then I see, oh, maybe this. That's not good enough. And so what I worry about is if the show isn't better than it is now, that it won't generate a lot of interest in Tolkien, which is what Jackson's movies did. Even though Jackson's movies could be improved a lot of people saw them and thought they were great, who had never read the books, and then they went to the books, and then they loved Tolkien. And hopefully this show will have that effect too. But instead, I worry that a lot of people will watch the show, they'll think it's not good, and that'll be all they know about the history of how the Rings of Power were made. And I lament that. But anyway, a small victory. Some criticism of the show from Corrigan Wholesome, the Tolkien professional. All right. Bye-bye.